Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can donate to my ministry and charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. This one here is about an Israeli minister in the Knesset called Ben-Gvir declares ownership of Temple Mount as activists clash in Jerusalem ahead of the Flag Day march. The Israeli police announced that they had arrested the suspect who had been planning a terror attack during Jerusalem Day celebrations. National Security Minister Itabar Ben-Gvir ascended the Temple Mount in Jerusalem's Old City on Thursday ahead of a planned Jerusalem Day flag march. Ben-Gvir declared the Temple Mount to be in our hands amid rising tensions ahead of the flag march, stressing he had restored sovereignty on the Temple Mount thanks to determination and deterrence. Later, Ben-Gvir arrived at Jerusalem's Damascus Gate along with police chief. On Thursday afternoon, the Israeli police announced that they had arrested a suspect who had been planning a terror attack during the Jerusalem Day celebrations. The police located the suspect at a car wash after receiving intelligence about his plans. The suspect was arrested and taken in for interrogation by the Shin Bet, Israeli security agency. Left-wing activists clashed with youth and settlers. Earlier on Thursday, Israeli activists from across the political spectrum clashed in Jerusalem's Old City ahead of the flag march. In one outburst of violence, a group of youths got into an altercation with Old City residents and left-wing activists from the Standing Together movement, including throwing chairs at them. In another case, the left-wing activists were escorted out of the Old City by Israeli police during what the activists referred to as a solidarity guard, meant to provide protection to local Arabs and Palestinians over fear of violence during the march. The activists Standing Together added, "We are there to prevent extremist settlers from harming Palestinian residents of the Old City during the march." One video on social media showed participants in the flag march singing "May Your Village Burn" as they walked through the Old City. Police closed down roads in Jerusalem on Thursday afternoon, announcing that they would reopen them as the flag march progressed. The police also announced that they had arrested 13 people, Jews and Arabs, in the wake of the altercation throughout the day. Earlier this week, Democrats MK Rabbi Gilad Kariv warned the Israeli police that this year's Jerusalem Day flag march poses a serious risk to non-Jewish residents of Jerusalem. Kariv cited recent racist and nationalistic attacks on Christians in recent weeks, along with a long history of flag march resulting in violence and chaos in the Muslim quarter as evidence of the increased risk this year. So this is something to be praying about, that the Jerusalem Day March would go off without any altercations. I agree with Itamar Ben-Gvir on claiming that the Temple Mount is in Israel's hands, because the Temple Mount has belonged to the Jewish people for over 3,500 years. And they were only thrown off the Temple Mount when Turkey had control of Jerusalem during the Ottoman Empire, where they built the Dome of the Rock, which is called Haram al-Sharif. And it was built on the stone that Abram tried to sacrifice Isaac, because God asked him to sacrifice his son. But then God relented and gave him a lamb so that he could sacrifice it in place of his son. Isaac was a willing sacrifice, because he allowed his hands and his feet to be tied before Abraham could slay his son. God stopped him because God never wanted him to kill his son. He just wanted to know that he was faithful enough to commit the act in his belief of God, and he was found worthy, and therefore he became the father of multitudes. Temple Mount is in Israel's hands, and this is a positive thing going forward until the new Jerusalem comes down on that exact point of the city. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.